Yo, what is up, guys? It's Cone back here again today with another video, and this is my second time recording this because I physically cannot get things to record and upload correctly on the first try. For some reason, it wasn't using this mic, it was using my laptop's connected mic, which sounded terrible. So here I am again. I'm going to go back through all the things I just talked about, but leave a like, subscribe, and stuff if you like this type of thing. I'm going to go through pretty much every game tonight because there wasn't too much to talk about, like big storylines going on. So I'm going to go through a little bit of everything. Obviously, as a Thunder fan, I'm going to start with the Thunder game tonight, where Gilgeous-Alexander was incredible. He had 31 points. We beat the KD-led Nets, even though the KD thing was like 4 or 5 years ago down the line now. Geez, 5 years ago in like July. That's crazy. 5 years ago down the line now, it still is kind of satisfying to beat KD. I really don't have many hard feelings towards him anymore, but it's still satisfying for some reason. Like I said, SGA was incredible, almost near a 30-point triple-double. He was just like lacking about 3 or 4, or about 3 in each of the stats that he needed, rebounds and assists. I think he had about 7 and 6. He had a block. He had a couple steals. He shot amazing from the field. He shot great from three. He only took 4. Shot 2 for 4 from there. Like I mentioned KD. KD had an amazing game. You can't stop Kevin Durant. As much as I would like to make memes about him and stuff like that. As a Thunder fan, he's incredible. I still think we should have put Luguentz Dort on stilts to try and guard him, but I don't think Mark Daignault looked at my tweet when I tweeted about that. So that's whatever, at 3_Cone on Twitter. Maybe he'll see it next time. Maybe he'll try that out next time we play the Nets. Maybe I'll have to send him an email or something. But this team we're 5-4 now, which is not what I mean, as a Thunder fan, I did not expect this at all because I expected us to be much worse than we are right now. I think a lot of people did, but I don't know. We're just playing well. Like, all the young guys have been playing well. I know I'm probably supposed to root for us to lose. Like, that's better in the long term. But I just have a really hard time rooting for us to lose. The Thunder are my favorite of my favorite teams, the team I easily watch the most and root for the most. And I find it impossible to ever root against them. Be like, oh, really hope we lose this game. Like, that's just not really in my mentality. And I have kind of taken this approach where it's, if we lose, whatever, I'll get over it. If we win, I'm like, hell yeah, we won, and I'm going to be happy about that because, like I said, I can't root for us to lose. And honestly, even if we are winning, we're winning with the young guys, which I think is the way you have to win if you're a like younger team trying to win. You don't want your old veterans. Like, if Al Horford was out there dropping 30 a game and we were winning, I'd be like, yo, we need to get him out of here. We need to lose more games. But the fact that it's SGA, Baisley, Dort, guys like that are like Hamidou Diallo has been incredible. The fact that we're winning the games with these young players at the helm, I think it's really important for their development and growth. And I'm willing to drop a few draft spots if it means that SGA is going to be a better player in the long run. If it means Dort's going to be a better player, Baisley, Maladone, Pokuševski, Diallo, all these guys, these young guys, if it means that down the line they're going to be better players, I'm perfectly fine with taking these wins right now, which is such a weird sentence to say, that I'm fine with taking wins, like it's something I shouldn't be fine with. But I'm happy to win if it's the young guys leading us. So, also, I still think we will get worse. We have a really tough portion of schedule coming up. The Nets were supposed to start that, but then we ended up beating them, so I don't know what's going on. But we face like really tough teams. We face like the Clippers back to back. We face like the Lakers, the Suns, the Sixers. There's a lot of good teams coming up, so I expect us to kind of rack up some losses, or I would expect us, but the Thunder continue to surprise me in different ways. So, shout out to this team. I love the effort. SJ looked like a real leader tonight. Like I said, he dropped 31. He took over whenever it was needed. He really hasn't been aggressive in the first quarter of games up to this point, but today he just took over immediately. He showed great leadership, especially at the end of the game. There was a foul on Darius Baisley on a Kevin Durant 3, which didn't end up being a foul call, and the reason it wasn't is because SGA went over to Baisley, asked him, was like, hey, did you foul him? Baisley said no, and Baisley and Shea then both together went over to Coach Mark Daignault in his first season, and Shea was like, hey, you need to challenge this. Baisley says he didn't foul him, and Mark's like, are you sure? He's like, yes. And so Mark said, okay, I trust you guys, went and challenged it, and the call got overturned. And I love to see that. That's awesome. That's exactly what I want to see out of my coach and like 2 of the top 3-4 guys on this roster for the future. That's exactly what I want to see. So I've loved everything I've seen from this Thunder team so far. Young guys playing well. Really impressed with Coach Mark Daignault, and I can't complain. We'll lose games. Like if our draft stock drops, like if we win like more games, and instead of being that like top one team, we end up as like the fifth team. It's like a 6% drop chance in getting that one first overall pick, and for to sacrifice that 6% for the development of our young core right now, that's guaranteed. I'm willing to sacrifice that. So. Next team I kind of want to talk about were the Chicago Bulls. Zach LaVine had 45 today, hit 10 threes against the Clippers in a 3-point loss. Kawhi and Paul George both also balled out. But I want to talk about the Bulls because I feel like their young core doesn't get a lot of attention, and I think it deserves to because they do have a lot of young, exciting players. LaVine's really good. He is upcoming free agent. I hope the Bulls hold on to him just because I feel like he kind of fits Chicago. He feels like I associate LaVine with Chicago now, and I like his play style there. I think he and Kobe White are really electric and fun to watch together. They might not be the best fit in terms of like playing defense ever, but the scoring is unbelievable. The amount of points they can output is crazy, and I just really don't want to see that backcourt broken up so early into that experiment. Patrick Williams looked great. He's drawn Kawhi comparisons today, and overall, and he got a chance to prove it today against Kawhi, and he did play well. Kawhi did go crazy, but as a rookie, you're not going to stop Kawhi Leonard, so you can't be too mad about him for that. Wendell Carter, I think Wendell Carter could be like an Al Horford type guy some point in his career. He may not ever make an all-star team, but he could make like one if he's on a really good team, playing good defense, intangible stuff like that. Like the Draymond Green type of effect where he's just all over the court playing all these different roles, playing good defense, stuff like that. I don't think he'll ever be as good as Draymond Green, but I could see like him playing that type of role on a Bulls team down the line. I just want to give the Bulls a shout out. I think Billy Donovan's also a good coach for some of these like younger players, especially young guards, like he just did last season with Gilgeous-Alexander. I think he was important to Shea's growth as a player, in addition to like Chris Paul and Dennis Schroeder, guys like that. So shout out to the Bulls. I like their young core a lot, and I feel like they don't get recognized enough. Next, the Jazz, they beat the Pistons. It's the Pistons. They're not very good. Although Jeremy Grant might be an all-star, which I'm very happy to see. Well, sad because he was on the Thunder. I wish he was in this young core right now, but happy because I'm happy to see a former OKC guy succeed. Shout out to him. I wish him all the luck in the world. Maybe the Pistons found a franchise player there. I don't know. He's playing really, really well. But the Jazz have looked really good, even with Donovan Mitchell not playing very well. And I feel like not enough people are talking about that. Mike Conley's looked kind of like Memphis Mike Conley to start out. Jordan Clarkson's been really good. Gobert's playing well. So I think I might make a video on the Jazz soon because they are kind of just impressing, even though they haven't been talked about much. So, or even also Donovan Mitchell, like I just said, hasn't been playing well, and they're still 6-4. So I wanted to give a shout out to the Jazz for that one. Lakers beat down on the Rockets today. The Thunder, another reason it's a good time to be a Thunder fan, in addition to having a ton of draft picks and winning right now, is that the Rockets are struggling. And I'm not saying that because I hate the Rockets, but because we have their first round pick, top 4 protected. So as long as their pick falls outside the top 4, the Thunder are going to get it, or we'll get the better of their pick and the Heat's pick. I think the Rockets' pick's going to be worse, especially if James Harden still gets moved. I don't know where that trade saga's at right now, but especially if they keep failing to win basketball games, I think that's going to re-accelerate that whole James Harden trade talk type thing. So we'll see where that goes, but I'm happy to see them losing a few games right now. They can be successful in the future when we don't have their draft picks, but for right now, I would prefer to them give us, a top 5 draft pick, so that even if the Thunder are too good to get one of those like top 5, 6-ish picks, then at least we'll get them from them. So, and then who knows? Maybe if there's like a guy we want at 1 or 2, we could package those picks, move up. Simple. So Presti's kind of a genius. The Lakers are just really good. I talked only about the Rockets who lost the game. Lakers are incredible. I haven't talked about them much because I feel like people know the Lakers are good, so I don't need to tell you the Lakers are good. But they're good, in case you did need me to tell you. Outside of that, who else played today? Sorry, my brain's like fuzzy right now on some of the games. Nuggets beat the Knicks. The Julius Randle's so good out of nowhere. He's playing like prime Magic Johnson. I don't know what to say about Julius Randle. I didn't see it coming. He's looked amazing. He might have to also have I might make a video about like potential All-Star candidates that people didn't see coming. I might have to do something like that. But shout out to Julius Randle, but more so shout out to the Nuggets for winning that game. They've really turned it around. They're up to 5-5 now after starting like 1-4. So that's cool to see. You've got the Timberwolves, who I just talked about yesterday, being bad, beating the Spurs, who were missing DeMar DeRozan. Sending prayers to DeMar DeRozan because his father is apparently ill. I'm very hopeful that his father makes it through his illness. Sending prayers his way. So he missed the game today, which did allow Lonnie Walker to have a really good game. He had 25 points, and the Spurs youth kind of got a chance to show out a little bit, which is cool. But congrats to the Timberwolves on getting that win. It was kind of important for them being 2-7 up to that point to not become 2-8, which would tie for the worst record in the league. Yeah. Finally, you've got the Raptors Warriors, who the Warriors pulled out in a 3-point game at the end. Curry played terrible. He's going to murder the Pacers on Tuesday. That seems to be how it is with Curry. He plays terribly one game. He's not going to play terribly a second game. So if you're watching this, Curry's going to have 16 threes against the Pacers on Tuesday. And on the Raptors side of the ball, they just can't seem to put it together. But although Pascal Siakam, he looks like he's really been putting it together. He deserves a shout out. He's getting memed on Twitter. That's partially my fault. I did post memes. Sorry about that. I do think Siakam's a good player. People who are calling him a bad player are just they have to be trolling, or they just don't understand the game of basketball, because he was just an All-NBA second teamer and he was an All-Star. So shout out to Pascal Siakam he's put back together now like 2 or 3 back-to-back like 25 plus point outings. He's been good, and I think he deserves to get praise for that, even if he did try and 360 no scope on the game winner, which was a very interesting choice. It didn't really make sense. He played directly into the whole Beyblade spinning Pascal Siakam memes, but whatever. It wasn't a bad shot. At least the shot attempt wasn't bad. It almost went in, which honestly, it would have been so much better if that went in. Because if Siakam played completely into the whole spinning Pascal Siakam memes and then drilled a game winner on that, it would have been perfect. It would have been like the perfect NBA Twitter meme material. I wish he hit it. But anyways, that's about all the games today. I did want to say talk a little bit about the Celtics Heat thing, where the games are getting postponed, but I think I might save that for my full video tomorrow. I think I'm going to try and upload one before games start tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. I kind of just want to talk a little bit about the whole COVID thing. A lot of players are getting it, and I'm worried that the league is struggling to handle it a little bit, but I do think that they're going to figure it out. I don't think a bubble is at all going to happen. It'll either be the season's postponed or we continue playing like this. Dream scenario at some point that everyone would get vaccinated. I'm not a scientist. I don't know what the time frame or the logistics of that looks like. I don't even know if that's a feasible dream at any point in the future, because obviously frontline workers need it. You need it for teachers and people and stuff like that. So I'm just hoping at some point we can have or at least by next season, we can have a COVID-free basketball world where I can go to some games and the players don't have to worry about getting their family sick or getting themselves sick when they play other people. So with that being said, I think that's about everything I wanted to talk about. Let me know if there's anything I missed, or let me know if there's any storylines that you want me to talk about in upcoming videos. And with that, I'm going to head out. So I will see you guys later. Real one, say back.